Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Woo. Folks, we got something to talk about here today, but before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Your man Marcellus Wiley just let the cat out the bag, bro. This is what we want to get into today. So as you guys know, the biggest story right now in sports, one of them was Molly Qerim's abrupt departure, even though she's still there. News of departing from ESPN stunned a lot of us, right? Stunned a lot of us. We reacted to it. We did shows about it. We even did an article this last weekend referring to some of the hidden friction between her and Stephen A. Smith. We did this show. We did that show. We did this show. We did that show. Well, one of the people that always seems to have his thumb on these type of stories whenever they come out is Marcellus Wiley. Why? Number one, Marcellus Wiley is a former NFL player, so he has that going in his corner, and he used to work on TV. He used to work at ESPN and FS1, and he knows Stephen A. Smith. So this is somebody that's well connected in the industry and knows how these things work because he's been on television shows, right? So he can actually take you behind the curtain and give you the real. So Marcellus Wiley got a hand on this story. And he was essentially reacting to some comments that an ESPN executive made. And I think it was maybe Burt Magnus, the head of content. I'm not sure exactly. So he then begins to reveal, number one, why Molly left. Number two, why things occurred in the way that they did. But more importantly, number three, the shocking truth behind the relationship and the hidden friction that existed between Molly Qerim and Stephen A. Smith, and how if Stephen A. Smith wanted, her job could have potentially been saved. For those of you who didn't hear this breakdown, I want you guys to listen to it now, and then want to come back and react to what Marcellus Wiley had to say. Take a listen to his comments here.
Let's go behind the scenes, because Burt Magnus just told us that, hey, it got out of our hands because Molly confirmed that report, but put some immediacy on it that we weren't expecting. We both were kind of on the same page of, let's just ride this out to the end of the year after your contract's over, and then peace, goodbye. Well, I think that is very interesting for so many reasons. So let's just reframe everything first. Reset. Molly went to work on Monday, right? Finished her job on Monday, left without ceremony, went home, and then a report comes out. That report comes out the next morning. Instead of Molly showing up to work, she puts out an Instagram post. And in that Instagram post, you guys remember, one thing she didn't mention was anybody by name, including Stephen A. Smith. Now, I've left a show or two before, and trust me, you're going to name some names when you leave that. Just think about Shannon Sharp when he left Undisputed. Goodness, it took about 10 minutes of all the names he dropped. That's my point. Molly didn't do that. So that lets you know already there's some friction behind the scenes. Okay, so they're reporting that it's supposed to be the end of the year. Molly, by action, says it's right now. Instead of I'm leaving now, I'm leaving right now. She made it immediate. And then Stephen A. Smith makes the statement. Now, interesting once again, see, peep all these differences, right? These contradictions in terms of how they usually move and how they're moving with Molly. Max Kellerman left. Stephen A. Smith didn't even show up for the last day. Remember that? Interesting. And we all know that typically they don't talk about talent when they're gone. They just say, thank you for your services, and we wish you well. This is a little different for many reasons. So when they're trying to paint it, it looks a lot different. Here we go. This is what's going on behind the scenes on the real. Molly was going through a contract negotiation, obviously, and that was not going well, obviously, because Molly wasn't getting what she wanted. What did Molly want? Molly wanted to do other things at the network, which included hosting her own show, kind of the Max Kellerman plan. I leave First Take, that's fine. Y'all got other shows out here, or we could create a show, whatever it may be. Let me land on my feet within the network, still be at the worldwide leader, and do my thing. Now, that wasn't happening. They weren't signing off on her not only hosting another show, but doing other shows within the network. So what happened was offers for her to stay there. Now, reportedly, she's making like around $500,000 a year. Now, contrast that to $20 million a year for Stephen A. Smith, and he's number one on the show and you number two on the show, you can feel a certain type of way. But hey, you got to only eat what you kill. And they didn't feel that she was killing it to the point where they would make her a better offer. And when I say we, I'm not just talking about Burke Magnus. I'm not just talking about all the other bosses that Stephen A. Smith mentions. I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith as well. Because remember, he's an executive producer on that show. And as he will always remind you, that's his show. Think about it. So Molly wants more money to stay on that show. If I'm going to stay, you're going to have to pay me for my suffering. Or give me what I want, give me some more, and let me go do more. They balked at both. So now, what else is going on behind the scenes? The relationship with Stephen A. Smith, one of the worst kept secrets in the business, is that they have a good relationship. They don't, right? They kind of tired on each other, et cetera. I'm not going to go into all the messy details, but the point is they weren't cool with each other to the point someone you work with for 10 years, you don't even mention them when you're gone. And you don't even give them that like partner heads up on air. Like, hey, we did this thing together. This thing is over, right? So that lets you know the business was ugly behind the scenes to the point and the personal relationship that I won't even give you that grace. I won't even give you that out. So that's how that went down. Their relationship, not good, okay? Now, the last part of it is, this is the twist. She wanted to do other stuff. No, basically. You wanted to host your own show? No, basically. You want more money? Not much. Now, who signs off on all the money there? Think about it. Think about it. The bosses. But who are the bosses? That's Stephen A. Smith as well. When there was a Kenyan, Perkins had his deal. And when Perkins was up, remember? Perkins was getting a day job rate, and he turned that into $700,000 a year job. Perkins just talked about that recently, about how Stephen A. Smith has that pull. Stephen A. Smith even talked about that when he checked Cam Newton recently, talking about, hey, I've hooked a lot of guys up with money around here. Dan Orlovsky raised his hand in that moment. Ryan Clark, obviously, another beneficiary of Stephen A. Smith. When he signs off on you, when he signs for you, you get what you want. But guess what? There's a flip to it as well. When he doesn't sign off on you, when he doesn't sign for you, you don't get what you want. And that's obviously a Kerry Champion, a Max Kellerman, Shannon Sharp even, because of his relationship with his bosses.
So you heard what Marcellus Wiley had to say. This is the reason why so many people tune into him when it comes to these type of topics, because he takes you one layer at a time. And he breaks it down to a molecular level, to the point where even you, as you're listening to it, you can actually envision what it's like. Let's address the point that he brought up about Stephen A. Smith having the power. This is something he said, as he alluded to. Stephen A. Smith even said on the Joe Budden podcast, if Stephen A. Smith rocks with you, it will cause other people to be like, well, if Stephen A. Smith likes him, I need to take a look at him. And if he doesn't rock with you, you were talking about the Max situation, then a lot of people important people would take a second guess the idea of potentially working with. That's the level of power that he has. The second thing he talks about, nobody gets on ESPN First Take without his blessing, because he's one of the producers on the show. He has said this ad nauseum. So what Marcellus is saying, if I'm understanding him correctly, is this. If Stephen A. Smith truly wanted her to come back, she would have been there. Let's get to the other aspect of this, which is just mind-blowing to me. Stephen A. Smith making $20 million a year. And Molly Qerim making $500,000? That is laughable. And it now begins to make me realize all of those little jokes that Molly used to make on TV, there's some truth behind. You know how Molly used to always make these little jokes with Stephen A. Smith, like, man, I would never know what it feels like to live like this. I would never know what it feels like to live like that. I'll never know what it feels like to live. Maybe there was a little truth to it. Like, damn, son, you got the bag and the bank, and you leaving us out here with crumbs on the table. Of course you're going to feel a type of way. Especially when you're always hailing her as the contribution that Molly did, and Molly that, Molly that, Molly that, Molly that. And I think this comes down to the person. Some people are willing to take less so everybody else can eat, or at least everybody else will feel like they're appreciated and there's value. You see, I don't believe Molly wanted to make what Stephen A. Smith was making. No. I believe Molly wanted to make something that would then signify to her that they feel like she is of value. So you're paying me something because you feel like I'm actually contributing something here. $500,000 is laughable. They're YouTubers making that. 500 grand is just laughable to me. I'm even hearing, I think Marcellus brought up a number like dudes on there making 700 grand. I'm like, yo, what? What? You'll be better off in the independent space. You can make that money on your own. And you ain't got to be waking up at ungodly times. And what? Not to say 500,000 is not enough, but to look at the industry and the volume of money that's out there circulating, that's what you're walking away with? We're not saying that 500,000 isn't a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But we're talking about the industry. We're talking about the industry here. To think that that's all that she was getting, 500,000 in New York? She's walking away with $300 and something thousand, and you're waking up every morning and people are seeing you outside. They go Molly on ESPN, they go Molly on ESPN, and then you have the co-host, the other guy, making millions and millions and millions and millions. Now, I don't know their budget. I don't know how the budget allocation works and all of that, but damn. If it's me, how much am I making? 20? If it means paying this person an additional 500,000 and I take a little bit less, but they're going to be happy and they feel like they're valued here, then sure, absolutely. Now here's the kicker. The new person is going to apply. It's probably going to make less. It's probably going to make less. If they offer me a job at ESPN for 500 grand, I ain't going. Some of y'all watching like, what, Charles, you ain't going for? No! Hell no. I'll bust my ass on my own and make that my damn self. Then to go run up on there and be up there every single day, I'm doing this show, doing that show, running around like a damn chick on my head cut off. For that? Nah, bro, that's greasy, man. That's absolutely great. So that number just is crazy to me. That number is crazy to me. But all the other stuff of him vouching for her, and I believe it. I believe it. Come on, we all know this. We know the best player on the team gets to be able to make recommendations and suggestions. What are we talking about here? If the best player wants you on the team, you stay in. What are we talking about here? So he brings up a fantastic point. Now, I know Stephen A. Smith ain't going to be feeling what Marcellus Wiley is saying, but get at him and be like, yo, you lying. You this, you that, you this, you that. Don't hit him with all you want the clicks and you want the views and you want the this and you want the that. Don't hit him with that because everybody doing media wants the clicks and the views. Respond to the man and be like, yo, you're wrong here. This is why. Blah, 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 blah. You're wrong here. This is why. Da, 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 da. Don't just distill it down to, oh, he jealous or he hating on me. I don't think Marcellus, I don't think he hating. I just think he looking at the situation like you dudes be lying too much, bro. What's all over this ninjutsu you doing and behind the corner jumping from out the bush, throwing darts at me like let's keep it a stack of what really went down. These are my thoughts, man. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Shout out to Marcellus Wiley for that breakdown, man. That breakdown, top notch stuff. Catch you guys on the next show. Peace.